Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, admitting defeat. If we want to stop the Icelandic raids on our territory, we could raise the some 3,500 troops that we have in Ireland and try and take on their 5k army. But we're in the middle of a crusade. And even though you call yourself a pilgrim, you respect nothing holy. We need those troops for the crusade. We'll be raising them and sending them out soon, so like I said, we have admitted defeat. Here is his son and heir, the future Jarl of Iceland. And what we're going to do is arrange a marriage between him and his cousin. So this is our daughter Dunchuk. And here is her aunt. So we're going to organise that marriage. We have plenty of time to break the betrothal. It will also bring in a substantial number of forces on our border, who could be of use to us if something kicks off in Ireland. So we're going to send that and hope that it will bring that raid to an end, because we are not in a position to take them on militarily at the moment. As we swing down quickly past Iceland, we take a stop in Ireland to look at our court. We are in desperate need of money. We are losing 9 gold a month. We're going to be losing a lot more quite shortly, and it's going to be a long time before Papa can give us any more money. We are going to begin the mass-scale arrest of all criminals in the court. We are going to begin enforcing Brehon law to basically extort as much money out of them as we can. Here is our sister, court musician, and friend, the wife of Louis MacLouis. She's a bit of a deviant, setting up her dancing troops. We are going to imprison her. So we've released one prisoner to get some money. The doors of the prison swing open. A prisoner taken in our siege in Ragusa is released, and our poor sister is put into the prison to take her place. And while that has been done, we will come to Earl Laura. Although his territory in Alloch has just been sieged down, I think the siege is actually continuing. We are aware that he has murdered 2 members of the family. I think they are both members of the Bosnian or Croatian branch of the family. So he's dynastic kinslayer. Oh my god, who could kill a member of their own family? What a crime. What a crime. 93% chance to imprison him. I'd be hoping it would succeed. And speaking of the Croatian branch of the family, in the last episode, Crundmoil, who we have made Duke of de Hybert, and we got him to convert from Adamitism. He became our mentor, our military mentor, because he would know the hills and the mountains, I should say, of Croatia. And his advice to us was of tremendous use in sieging down Ragusa, the very frontier of what used to be the full kingdom of Croatia. It's been greatly reduced, but Ragusa would have been part of the kingdom once upon a time. So his help was his advice was tremendous help. However, we are losing troops hand over fist. We are starving. We're not able to push in this direction. We're not able to push into the mountains, and we have decided that we are going to abandon Croatia en masse. We've split up into about 4 different armies, and if we see where they're all going, we have 2 of them headed for Nicosia, and 2 of them headed for the coast of the Levant. And if I am correct, we need to get to Damascus to get that Crusader trait. Now, I won't lie, we're gonna plant Bruno von Claw's army here, and he's probably going to siege down, hopefully, these 2 regions. 31 gold in each of them. I was thinking of a... What the hell are you doing up here? I was thinking of a lightning strike on Constantinople. Wouldn't it have been glorious? But if we click, it is already under siege. Thankfully, the Byzantines, they're winning in their support against the crusade. They're fighting against us. However, they are being hit by an uprising. So there's a Baltic fate in control in Croatia, or not in Croatia, but in the Byzantine Empire, and it's causing a bit of trouble. So hopefully that's going to knock them out a bit. That's 12k troops. What the hell are you doing up here? Because a lot of them are landing down around here. I was hoping that we could wait until the Pope and his advance guard went in, so Rome, and get them to actually land. So I have no idea what we're going to do with our forward army, the one that I was going to plant off the coast here, because if nobody's actually arrived, yeah, I have no idea. We're gonna head for Cyprus anyway, and sure, we'll see from there. We'll siege from there. The good news is that alliance with Iceland has gone true. It looks as though their forces have now become neutral and stopped raiding us. After the great victories we have had against them in the past, the Bane of Iceland, the crown that celebrated our great victories, this is how low the kingdom has been driven, that we have had to go and negotiate peace with them in this fashion. I would rather have negotiated peace at the end of a hammer. Laura is in our prison. We're going to get 50 quid for him. You have no money, and you won't give me money. That's a bit of a nuisance. So we're just going to have to gain a weak hook on her. We don't have much of an option. She has 88 gold. Won't give us any, which is a bit of a pity. We could try to arrest Minkon and employ Tuathla as our executioner. From court musician to court executioner. We'll just negotiate her release for now. And while we're back this end of the world, this is something I was trying to do in the last episode, and I was getting very confused. I had to cut it out. I reforged, if I'm correct, no, I repaired the beautiful wooden sword. So we took this from this guy's father, and it must be a child to equip it as an inventory artifact. So that's rather interesting, that it, depending on what age you are, this could be an inventory artifact or it could be a trinket. We have no use for it, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to gift it back to this guy. I wanted to gift it back to him. I might have been confused. I might have been looking for an actual sword in the list here. But I'm going to gift this back, and that'll bring us up plus 20. Fantastic. We have a lot of people who don't like us at the moment. They are afraid of us. And I'm waiting for that fear to go away before we start doing any more executions. Now that she has been released from prison, Tuathla, go on, sing us a song. I'll just click on this guy for a second. I've married him out to... So this is... Here's Conon, a different Conon to the one that passed away in the last episode. This guy's a deviant. We found out about this a while back. And his wife is our cupbearer. So they have a child, Alan. He's handsome, and we have married him out to a very high intrigue figure who might very well be put in as our spymaster if needed. And actually, we might have a job for her already. There we go, we do have a job for her. Our food taster and spymaster, Ella, died in the last episode. We've been having a lot of problems with spymasters of recent. So this total randomer, we're going to appoint them as our food taster. I'm wondering about Wolfgang. Wolfgang's on the crusade. Do you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense for Wolfgang to get the position. He's average, but I mean, it makes sense. He's on the crusade. So we'll give it to Wolfgang. Wolfgang, eat my food. Because we are in a bad spot, our Chancellor, Crahur, bit of a divil, he has discovered that our mentor, We were in such a hurry to make him a duke in De Hybert that we didn't impose the correct contract on him. It's time to right this wrong. We're going to increase his taxes. We'd get a weak hook on him, otherwise he's 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I thought we had a bit more troops in Ireland. We don't. So, we'll just disband them. And, yeah. I thought we had maybe some more troops, but we don't, so we're lucky we didn't try and take these guys on. But basically, the 5,000 or so troops that we have out in the Holy Land, that's pretty much all we have to our name, and we are rapidly losing war score. Bad timing, we will accept, but this is very bad timing. Well, we could send you 99 troops. Who is this? The Duke of Upper Lorraine. So he has... It's saying he has 6,000, but I'm wondering if that includes us. We will accept that. You have 11,000 against there. You're grand. Lad, there's a crusade on. Oh, hell. That's... Yeah, I absolutely would turn around and go away as well. I absolutely would. And what timing to get our first martial perk. We have landed, Bruno von Cloh has landed in Croatia. He seems to be in a position to siege down that area, so I'm bringing in a secondary army, and what I might actually do is get them to go up there instead and begin the siege of this area. So if I am correct, they have 31 gold each. It would be fantastic to siege those two areas down. The rest of the forces... there isn't a whole heap of them. There should be maybe another 400 somewhere. Oh god. Look, I'll sort this out in a second. With the High King of Ireland donning the holy armour of a Crusader, we will give him Stalwart Leader. Prowess +4 reduces the risks of commanding armies, may challenge rivals to single combat, inflicting stress if you win. And what we're probably going to do, it's going to take a long time. The crusade will be long over, but I'd say these 4 before coming down this direction. That's not much good to us. I'd rather these ones, but I'd say we will go for knight effectiveness. Absolutely. We are seeing 5,000 Byzantine troops landing just in ahead of the army commanded by the High King. Are these both my wards? So my daughter and somebody that isn't my daughter that I have kept thinking in past episodes was my daughter. There was a commotion among the children today. Muireann was attempting to preach among her fellow youngsters and became the target of a small fight. Moyle Mead intervened and managed to stop the fight. So yeah, absolutely. Remain calm. There is a 4,800 fleet arriving. Remain calm. They should actually be, because they've just landed as well, so they should have that disembark penalty. What we will do... Do you know what? We won't do that. We'll... do we want to stay where we are? Because if this 4... Yeah, look, we'll stay right here. The High King with 7 knights. I think 2 of his sons. If this army gets hit, we will bring our forces up. There's another 2,000 coming in, but lots and lots and lots of disembarkation penalties. And we are... You guys, yeah, you got duped. These guys are just like... I should be put in charge of the crusade. I say that we should wait. The only problem is we're now looking at a 10k army coming down. There's 2,200 coming in by sea, however. We really do have to make a choice. What are we going to do? Those 2,200 are going to get caught one way or another. I think we're just going to have to stand and fight. I really think whether His Excellency wants to or not, he is going to have to stand and fight. We are sending in the army commanded by the High King. And I think, as much as it pains me to do it, we have no choice but to open our inventory, put away our +1 prowess, Welsh Warhammer and equip the +4 prowess. Killing a sword. When Killen was given his sword to our mother, I bet he never thought it'd be on a crusade. Okay, I think we've gone in and we're in trouble. We've gotten across, which is nice. Our armies stand poised to take part in the crusade for Syria, St. George willing. We will soon rise victorious. The blood of the heathens painting the soil red. I think somebody's gonna... I think there's going to be red blood somewhere. I don't think it's going to be the heathens. They have gotten in absolutely cruel numbers. This is insane. Nat Freak wounded somebody. And William, our trusted confidant, William, he was a bodyguard, if not a champion, for a period of time. We're talking about another... Oh god, our other fleet that we actually got across. If that's not the High King? That's the High King's fleet with a grand total of 954. I thought that was the fleet that had just been beaten. Oh lord, I don't know what's going on. We should have just stayed sieging places. The High King's army, or the army commanded by the High King, has indeed been hit. Amlib has been murdered, was slain in battle. Well, there you go. We've given a son to God. And we've been overwhelmed by stress. That does make sense. We can either try to press on, we can become melancholic, or alcoholic. I think with the way his irritability is going, I think his anger at all that has been taken from him. Still remember Amlib as a baby. Of course, we named him after our father. He was the representation of a change in the way we were thinking about our father's rule. Is life without him in it even worth living? We can see a 27k army absolutely decimating the Holy Crusaders in the bottom right hand corner, and Cromwell comes to us in an attempt to distract us from the pain and misery and anger that we feel at the death of our son. He's going to try and teach us a lesson, a martial lesson. We will prepare the ranks. And we have gained the trait aggressive attacker. Maybe we were a bit too aggressive with the attacking. I have learned so much, I'm sure you have, and he has learned his lessons in a very difficult way. We're seeing more holy forces arriving as we manage to complete the siege of Nicosia. These are the only people doing any good, work. Bruno von Cloh is going to march the army into Famagusta, surely receiving the distressing news of, I think, the stack wipe of the Irish forces in the Holy Land. He has taken 5 people prisoner. And for all the work we're doing, for all the losses we've suffered, we're actually still on par with their forces. But again, the Vatican forces especially are all over the place. We're still in first place in terms of contribution. Just 1% off. Minus 39% from battles. God help us. And one of the people that we have managed to capture is the actual Duke of Cyprus. So he is going to give us a lot of money. We've also captured a lot of his family. So we're going to begin the process of ransoming them out once he has released himself. About 25 euros ahead. So there's possibly another 100 in there. We have this person has been in our prison only for a day. So they're a Dutch Catholic who seems to have been imprisoned in that siege. Not too sure where the hell they came from. Poor Owl Muireadach, our son and heir, probably dreaming of taking his dead brother's place in the Crusades. We have hired a new knight with some of the money that we're getting from releasing the Duke of Cyprus. I have been holding off on hiring him for a while because he's spindly. But look, he knocks Muireadach out of the list. He's some bit of an improvement over the knights that we have. We actually do have the opportunity to invite knights to court. It's going to take a while for them to get back, however. And before raising the armies here and sending them out, we will look at our 2 defeats in the 8th of May. So I think we had some bit of a good show in this first battle. The numbers don't really show it. That is an absolutely cruel number of knights, 91. And here's our top performers, Wolfgang, our food taster and knight, married out to a random courtier. I'm not too sure how. I think we got him. Who knows when these people arrived in our court? Otto, William's stepson. So not stepson, but son-in-law. So his father-in-law died alongside him. There's Dál Fiatach. And there is William. I don't think this was the battle that he was killed in. And look at this. Look at this. The hammer of the Irish. Even though William isn't Irish. But this is the guy who killed our son in that second battle. And absolutely devastating numbers there in the corner. We had a tiny force that was caught. I don't know what way it was caught. Uí protecting his father, who I think was in command of the army. I actually don't know how this happened, because Uí was with the other army. It's a confused scenario at this stage, but again, 190 knights. God help us. The Irish forces are falling into... I don't know where the hell we're falling. We're following the major armies around here. I think we're just going to begin sieging... I think we're just going to plant them in Aleppo for a while and see what everyone is doing. But the big news is the Byzantine Empire is no more. Introducing Big Bulgaria. We are rapidly losing war score. All we in Ireland are hoping for is that we can continue the siege of this place. Our forces in Aleppo, I'd say, are about to come under attack, so we're gonna start to make a bit of a run for it. We could try and fight that army, but I don't think it's advisable. They might very well hit us. Nope. It's a good thing they didn't, because there was 4k coming in after them. There you go. Our brother, Prince Uí, has created a faction against us. And yeah, we're beginning to see, what is this, a 20k army basically hunting people down. Muireann, our daughter, has come of age. Brave, zealous, honest, mastermind philosopher. Mighty job. But, yeah. I don't think we even have 20k forces in that region. There is a ghost in Mathod's cabinet, and if ever a ghost was to appear out of that cabinet, now would be the time. A cabinet which was dedicated to one of our knights who was killed in our great battle against Iceland, God only knows how many decades ago. And now that we have formed an alliance with Iceland, surely we are stirring some angry ghosts. Why is there noise coming from inside my Mathod's cabinet? I look around the room. There's no one else here. It's empty and dark. Creak. Could it be a spirit? Some sort of malicious sprite? Suddenly it bursts open, revealing my jester, Gimarca, jumping and flailing her arms. Beware the Mathod's cabinet ghost. I have come to make you laugh, she screams gleefully. Oh no. So we can lose 21 stress. We gain suspicious of furniture. -1 diplomacy. Enemy hostile scheme success chance goes down. This could be very beneficial to us. Or we could nail her to the cabinet? Or nail her inside the cabinet? I don't think we're that angry just yet, especially as she's the wife of some... He's our bodyguard, but we don't really believe he's our cousin. Do you know what? I'm going to become suspicious of furniture. The chairs are plotting to kill me. It's a bit of a countdown now at the moment to see... Oh, we just got that siege done before hitting minus 100 war score. Oh, that was close. We managed to get that siege of Famagusta done. I was hoping if the war had continued that we would possibly look to trying to get our forces up to the new capital of what little remains of the Byzantine Empire, which is just to the north of Croatia, but I imagine that's it. I imagine that that is it. Defeat. Our contribution was lower than the required 100, so you gain nothing. I think we're the only ones that did anything. And we were in the lead for a while, so be it. I really thought we were going to get something that time. Another failed crusade. So eagerly called and supported by Pope Sylvester ended in a disastrous defeat that has only hurt the cause of the faithful. This will surely embolden more blasphemers and infidels to further stray from Catholicism and towards Adamitism. St. George has abandoned us, and maybe we too should abandon our clothing. We can stand the armies down until they get into a friendly area, so we might as well just sail them to this war that's going on here in defense of Upper Lorraine. We ransomed out a child for a tenner. The other prisoner that we had died, that random Dutch Catholic that we seized on Cyprus. Maybe she was on holidays. Maybe it was all a terrible, terrible mistake. Courtiers, devastated surely at the death of our son Amlib, have begun drinking heavily. I think our predecessors set a bad precedent. My cupbearer and another member of the court, married to Kilina, actually Kilina's wife. Do you know what, Kilina? Fair play to you. The sword, it did help out. It helped me. Wasn't much use to my son though. So they're wobbling slightly. It's such a shame that the High King has all this mead he hoards like a dragon. Any friend of mine deserves to drink like a High King. So we have the option of dismissing our cupbearer. It'll cost us 200 prestige. I think what we'll go, because we're kind of hovering between back and forth, like I've always said, between level 7 and level 8, we will go for the court grandeur and plus 10 opinion with all courtiers and guests. Oh god, we need that. Good God. To the serene High King Crusader of Ireland, I call on you to honour our alliance and join me in the War of the Fancy Crowns. Everyone has a hat, except for this guy. This is the region that the King of France declared war on, after a war had already been declared on him. I was going to say in the last episode, a long time ago. So we have Charles III of Burgundy and his wife, the Queen of Aragon, attacking Pole Pesht, the usurper of Aquitaine, and Pierre II. We will accept. It's putting us in a bit of a problematic position. We're going to see an ultimatum in 5 months. This ape is in one of the armies, and he's after getting himself the Crusader trait. I know we're trying to sway our spy master at the moment. It's going to take 17 months, so we're not going to be able to sway him. We could give him a ton of money. I am considering just bringing the forces back home to Ireland and waiting for them. Before doing such a thing, however, our dread levels have dropped. Monadonia has been in prison ever since it was revealed that she was carrying on with our son Amlib. And now, we will ask her husband to show the mercy of Jesus to her. And maybe send her to Amlib in the afterlife. That execution doesn't seem to have done anything immediately. We are seeing our allies in Upper Lorraine winning their war. We're seeing our army just arriving. I'm sending the other forces back to Ireland just in case we do get that ultimatum. If it does kick off, and I might need to send these guys back as well. We'll probably have to hire some mercenaries. This is probably the longest period of time that our armies have been standing. And we're basically into 2 months. You were at minus 18, you're now down to minus 17. Give it another couple of years and we'll get him to 0. I don't know how he's managed to do it. But Bruno, he's escaped. He's escaped, he's gotten back to Ireland. He's not gotten back to Ireland. Our fleet has gotten back to Ireland, the one that was supposed to have him as part of it. But he's escaped from our court and he's gone away off. Oh, Bruno, we'll never see your likes again. We're seeing our forces arrive in Ireland. Breffni has already risen its army, or that's Limerick. I think their forces look a bit like... No, Arthur has risen his forces. And we're basically waiting. That guy, I was thinking about executing him. I don't even remember when we captured him. It looks like they're in a position to send an ultimatum. We're going to keep our forces here. We're going to see if they will recover some bit. Breffni, Munster, and Kirken are what are facing us. So we might very well move them up into Ossory, and we might actually be able to take apart these armies individually if they do rise up against us. We were very almost hit there. I was hoping that we'd manage to siege down that area. It didn't get to do so. I thought these guys would go in. I think they're going in somewhere. Let's see, we might be able to help with them. I don't want to send them in on their own. Killina, you old weirdo. Thanks for the sword. We don't have anyone brilliant for the position at the moment. I'm going to appoint our poor daughter, Muirin, who recently came of age. We'll probably be marrying her out for alliances soon enough. There is our Crusader physician, future King of Wales. What an interesting character he's going to be. But we will give that position to Muirin. We've gotten in just at the end of this battle to hit the last few, and I'd be hoping... Are they going to siege the area? I'd be hoping that they'll continue on. Oh, they are. Yes, right. I got confused by what army was which. So in come the Irish, ever so slightly late. We're helping. The tension that is felt at the moment throughout the Kingdom of Ireland. The High King stands near the dead centre, which would be Athlone, with just under 4,000 forces. However, the Liberty faction, that is demanding lower crown authority, is falling, and of course, Munster one of the constituents has its own problems. So that could very well, if they suffer a couple of defeats, that could very well knock them out of the ability to strike against us. And we are recovering numbers. I won't say quickly, but we're getting the numbers back up, and soon they will be no longer in a position to push that Liberty faction. So the High King is probably going to march into Athlone, just so he can be in the dead middle of the country. I think we'll suffer some attrition if we go there. We will indeed. We'll go into Ossory. Fogartuck, our friend Fogartuck Mac Lochana. Not entirely sure who this is, but a dear friend of ours who has driven us into the highest category of stress. Thanks, friend. There's a battle going on here that we didn't even notice. We're going to take our army, and we're going to see where we can march them, because I think that battle is pretty much coming to an end. Look at these for numbers. They're not exactly the most impressive. We'll see if we can march them down in this direction, down into Burgundy. And we'll see what that does for our... no attrition. Fantastic. So we're only maneuvering 1,000 or so around Otto. Poor Otto. Died of natural causes at 48 years of age. That is pretty young. The first of our new Crusader knights to die. Because of the rather confused end to the crusade, I wasn't able to show you everybody who had picked up the Crusader trait. Of course, many of them spent the crusades on Cyprus, so the likes of Bruno von Clow did not get the Crusader trait. Here is the High Crusader King, Crahur, with his Crusader trait. He can write about it in his journal. Our son, Prince Patrick. Our cousin, Murdoch, Nat Freoch. I don't think we married him to a... We did. So this is our niece. Is that Ovluck's daughter from her second marriage? And Wolfgang, a randomer, we hired at some stage. So that's all we have. Of course, our son, Amlieb, was killed, and now Otto has died. And not that long after his father-in-law, William, great knight of the kingdom, was slain in the Crusades. So, not as successful a run as the last time. But Patrick, this is a fantastic character, and he would be somebody to play as. 14 prowess, not too shabby. 21 learning. Already turning out to be a very, very impressive heir to the Kingdom of Wales. Doesn't look like we'll be in a position to help her to contribute, but we can see that Japan is getting badly hammered by Aragon. Why is France? What are you doing? Who's France fighting against? They're attacking Pole in a different war. So they have now turned hostile to us. There's Queen Adelia, our niece, who is pregnant and ill. And what a moment this must be for the King of France. Because, of course, at the moment, his heir is his... I don't know who the hell this is. His brother's son, if I'm correct. Because he has no sons of his own, so he is absolutely tense as to what's gonna happen here. We're told about a scheme at court. Somebody is plotting to kill one of our new Crusaders. We're going to see the Japanese routed, and that could very well contribute big to that war. We're at 100% war score in our defense in Upper Lorraine, so be it. 45% here, and we haven't even shown up. And this keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. It's at 80, and Crundmoel has died. Poor Crundmoel. Crahur comes to us. He's either ill or naked. He's ill. He's proven himself highly capable, especially in matters of having affairs and illegitimate children. There are more projects I would like to undertake in the Earldom of Leinster, with your blessing, of course. We can tell him to take the reins, we would lose 75 prestige, or vassals shouldn't be taking such liberties. I think we trust Cruhur, and especially if it'll make 20 opinion with him, because we do need opinion to keep people on side. Crundmoil drank himself to death. He just couldn't adapt to wearing clothes. They were too restrictive. We shouldn't have forced him to go against his nature. Why did we do this to him? Crundmoil, I'm sorry. He set up a new branch of the family. And we're now seeing his children. Lord Brutor. That's the default character that they explain how to create D&D characters with. And his son, Will Brazel, has become the new Duke of de Hybert. He's located, I can't pronounce that county. Let's go and take a look at what's going on up there a second. So yeah, this was one of the things I was kind of afraid of. Here is poor Lord Robertuck. Now he's still Lord Robertuck, even though he has had this county revoked from him. How did you get this county? Conquered it. So he's still hanging around in the region. He's still in de Hybert. Did not turn out. He's after becoming suddenly a very high prowess figure. Because he's sadistic. But his prowess wasn't good enough to get him into the armies with a while. So he is, of course, the son of the great Muel Brassel Conon, who I had plans to install actually as a duke, or Amlib would have installed him as a duke if it had come to pass. Do you know what? We should have locked her in the cabinet. We've just been told that our jester has left the court. We should have nailed her into that cabinet. We are getting suspicious again about our wife and another one of our daughters who is currently keeping Iceland away from our doors. Because of our paranoia, we will try and make sure. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with this army here. Education of Muel Mead comes to an end. So this was Gillicomon's daughter. We will meet again. So it looks like we have been proven wrong again. We could lose opinion with our wife and with the baby. Do you know what? She can't hide anything from me. We have time. We have time to think and to plot and to plan and to see if she's lying to us. And before we hit Provence, I was just about to say that the Independence faction has come to an end. They've gotten more support. They have gotten more support. The Divils. Who's after coming in now? Muel Brassel of de Hybert. Amlib, I'd say, is gonna fall out of this faction soon enough. We might make an attempt to sway Louis. Do you know what? Louis likes us enough. Louis likes us enough, and we're going to put Louis trying to figure out who is trying to kill Muireduk. I think that's what he's doing at the moment, is disrupting schemes. I think what we might be able to do is it'll be 17 months. I don't think these guys are... What artifact do you have that I can challenge you for? Dál Fiatach Romance? I don't want to be reading any romance that you might have. We can see there in the corner 4,400 troops are going in against the Aragonese. Our 1,400 are moving into a position where they will be able to assist the Aragonese forces once that battle starts, and it could very well be one of the last battles of this war. And we're going to bring this episode to an end. by asking the Pope for a ton of money. It was a chaotic episode, as it always has been. We have been traipsing all across Europe. Our forces left Denmark. 2 episodes back, landed in the Holy Land. And you know what? The Crusade, it went as well as could be expected from an Irish point of view, other than the loss of our son. And I had dreams. I had dreams of creating a kingdom for him, holding 3 kingly titles, so that when he died, he and his 2 brothers, if they had all gotten the Crusader traits, would have been Crusader Kings 3, but that dream is now dead. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next one, when we get our money from the Pope, and as always, we spend it wisely.